Sara Vaughn joins In the Calm. Sara is an Emmy-nominated celebrity makeup artist, esthetician, and the founder of Little Indigo. With over 21 years of experience in television and film industries, she's worked with Kerry Washington, Bowen, Stana Katic, Connie Britton, Elisabeth Sue, and so many other actors and models. In this episode, Sara takes us on a deep dive of her favorite practices and tools for not only elevating your beauty on the outside, but also on the inside. As a human makeup artist and esthetician, she is one of my favorites. I know you're going to keep coming back to this episode again and again for inspiration, laughter, and natural beauty tools at every age. Let's dive in. Welcome to In the Calm. I'm your host, Georgiana Alexander. Welcome, my beautiful friend, Sara Vaughn. So happy to have you on In the Calm podcast.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're an award-winning, Emmy-nominated celebrity makeup artist. I'm going to throw that in there, as well as a skincare esthetician. And you just have such beautiful background and passion for helping people really step into empowerment through their beauty, through their skincare, natural beauty, as well as elevated beauty. So before we dive into all of this passion that you have to share, that I love listening to your stories, I just thought it would be really fun and juicy. You have so many good stories and have been on so many sets, and we're not going to get Gossip Girl here. So no names mentioned, but I am sure you have some fun stories to share with us.
Yeah, I do.
What's some of your crazy experiences on set?
Yeah, I mean, there's always something going crazy and wild. And, in the film industry, you work crazy hours and you're around very intricate people with different personalities and you're around all these celebrities and stuff. So there's always something crazy going on. But one in particular was kind of funny. I was touching up my actress in her trailer. And, she kind of shared the backside of the trailer with her other co-star. And we're just doing our thing and, just touching up makeup and stuff. And all of a sudden we're like rocking like this, like there's like an
like you're on a boat or an earthquake.
Yeah. Because it is California. It is
right.
LA. So I'm like, are we in an earthquake or what's going on? Well, no, he was doing, his awesome business. Stuff with his business with whoever it was. And we were like, oh my gosh, like really? This is just like a 5-minute break. Like you have to like fit that in before the scene starts. Like, come on.
That's hilarious.
Touch-ups here. So I've
very LA.
Very LA. I've done touch-ups like that. I've done touch-ups in like, in the back of like limos and cars. And it's always like chaotic, and then you go out and film the scene and everything's like perfect and calm. It's like the chaos behind creativity and magic, right? So
right. Well, we love the chaos and calm here.
That's right. That's a perfect segue.
All about it. Yeah. I love that. I mean, talking about a career where you have to really learn how to pivot. I mean, here you are basically on a boat, essentially doing makeup.
That's right.
And the rocking trailer.
I'm going to tell you, I have probably had the steadiest hand in all of the United States. I've had to do makeup, in the weirdest places, and it's always fun,
Now here you are, you're in Nashville, and that's how we met. Actually, shout out to Julie Solomon, who introduced me to you and sent me your way.
Favorite people on the planet is Julie. And you, of course.
Thank you. I'll thank you on behalf of both of Julie and myself. You just have such beautiful work. But what I love most about you and getting to know you is just your heart and your kindness and your realness. And I think that especially coming from the places that you've been in your career, the accolades that you've achieved, that's such a rarity in and of itself. And for you to just be so real and down to earth and sweet and just such a fun pleasure to get to hang out with every time we're together. By the way, you guys, Sarah's done my makeup for a couple of shoots now, and you can see her work on me on the website chaoscalm.com. She's just amazing inside and out. So it's such an honor to have you here, but even more of an honor to get to call you my friend. So I'm so glad to have you.
The feeling is so mutual, and thank you for saying that, because I have to say that, over the 23 years now, I'm like totally aging myself, but 23 years in this business, it really will harden you, and it will change you, and it will make you bitter. And I chose not to do that. I chose love and peace. I do makeup. I love it. I do skincare. I love it. That's my passion. But the most thing I have found out of my whole journey, not even just with business, but in life, is just being kind and giving love to people, because you have no idea what they're going through. And especially, we've all gone through this whole journey together after COVID and all that stuff. Is now it's more like the most important now is to give people love and the space that they need. I've found the most important thing is taking care of people. And that could be in different realms, just even say hello, how are you, or giving someone a hug, or giving someone a beautiful facial, or whatever they need at that time. I have completely focused my life on that. So that's where that comes from. So thank you for saying that. That's my whole mission in life. No matter if I'm doing skincare and makeup or just being someone's friend, that is my mission.
I can feel it. I mean, it's very tangible around you, and it's just so beautiful that you actually brought that in and said, it's a choice. I think that that's true, because we all do go through so many different ups and downs, and like we've been through challenges. Or sometimes, when you come in to trauma, and then on the other side of trauma are deep life challenges, it can harden you, like being in these environments that are very cutthroat work environments, life environments, toxic relationships. And that can be in so many different sectors. But it really does come back to the choice that you make within yourself on who you are and how you show up. And I think that you can be strong in love and in kindness. It doesn't have to be in hardness and in cruelty or in disassociation of others. I just love that you said that. It's so beautiful.
I think we have a profound responsibility as human beings to share that. We all have love in our heart. We all have hopefully a lot. You're born with kindness. You're not born with hatred. You see that more than ever right now is the hatred and this, being separate and this side and this side. And I think more than ever, like you can soften somebody's heart, because everybody, like you said, everybody has their woes and their hard times, and we all have PTSD and anxiety more than ever. I think that it's so easy. It doesn't take any amount of effort. Just like give love to someone, say hello to someone, see if they need help, or, just be there for each other,
1,000,000%. That's actually the perfect segue into where I wanted to start the conversation with you too, is you have such a deep passion for empowerment through what you do. You have a deep passion for loving people, as you've said, in every way that you can. Your work passion has been in beauty, has been in makeup and in aesthetics. And so talk us through a little bit of that origin, like where that started for you. I've asked you, where did that start? Like, what was the story? And you're like, I just love makeup and I love empowering others through beauty. So share a little bit more of what you told me.
Well, it's funny that you asked me that, because I'll take you back to a little bit way back, is that I never grew up like doing makeup or anything. And I was never that person that like, on a piece of paper, like, what do you want to do, be when you grow up? I had no idea.
You tell me you were kind of a tomboyish?
I was like a tomboy. I was like a lost, gypsy soul. Like it's been a very evolved, life that I've led. But with saying that, it's been so awesome to getting to this place that I'm in now. I actually played softball my whole life, because I was good at it. It was just something to do. So I played softball, and I played for a very high level. And with doing so, I didn't really finish college and I didn't know what to do from that. And my sister at the time was doing like off Broadway plays. This was all in LA and stuff. And so she goes, why don't you just come and like talk to like, the makeup and the hair, the wardrobe people. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I didn't have like any interest in it at all. And I was like, but I knew I was creative because I loved art, so I knew I was, good at that stuff. And I love color and all that. So I just all of a sudden just gravitated towards makeup artist. And I'll never forget, she was the kindest person because she, you have to start somewhere, right? So she gave me all of her old makeup. And she was the one that did Don't Tell Your Mom the Babysitter's Dead. I'm totally aging myself, but that was such a great movie. That was and I was like, one of my you favorites. Did that movie? Like, so I was like, wait, I could do that kind of thing too. And she's like, yes, but go to school, go get education, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, great. So that's what I did. I enrolled like the next day to Joe Blasco, which back then it was like the best school in LA, one of them. And I went there for like a year. I learned monster makeup. I learned, all the cuts and the bruises and all that stuff, which by the way, I ended up being horrible at. I'm way better at beauty, just simple beauty. But was saying that, like, I learned it all because I wanted to just learn everything, and with doing that, I'm, met people along the way. And I did like different projects, like different horror movies and stuff, which AKA was not my thing. Like I said, I don't like fake blood or real blood. But so I got my start by doing a little actress at the time named Kerry Washington. And we did a project together and she was just starting her career. And, she was definitely already like some sort of a name, but not like she is now.
She wasn't the face of scandal at that time.
Right. Which is also another funny story. I followed her and we did lots of like creative projects together, lots of movies and, all that stuff. I found out very quickly that I needed to learn everything I needed to learn about skin. So I went back and I got my esthetician license. And that took me, I don't know, probably 2 years. So with doing that, I still worked on like movies and television and all that, the B-list stuff. But with her, she like introduced me to this person and this person and this person. So I followed her all the way. I was doing another show called Castle at the time, and she called me to do a pilot, and I turned it down, unfortunately, and that ended up to be Scandal. So, so I went right, and she went left, and then that's where I am. And she, obviously rose to great success, but she's an amazing person. That's just one of the many like actresses that I have been blessed to been able to do makeup for and to know. And that's how I got my start into this business. And I found out that I might not be the greatest makeup artist in the world, but I am so good at knowing how to take care of a person. And that all comes back to just being kind and loving, like people skills, I'm just really good at that. So like connecting,
Mm-hmm.
And so I took such good care of my actresses. And that's why they kept me around for many years. And I still have actresses that I still work for after 15 years. It's like that bond, and it's that trust. And that's what it's all about. You can kind of, put that into your real life too. Like, you have those people that you love and trust and really take care of. I mean, you can't take care of everybody, right? But you have those like select few that they mean a lot to you in your life. But yeah.
I just want to go back for 1 second just to speak to your humbleness, because you're like, I may not be the best makeup artist in the world.
Definitely not.
Right. I mean, no, there's incredible makeup artists, but just acknowledge, I mean, we were just talking before we jumped on, your Emmy nomination was in working with
Castle. Yeah. So I did the lead actress, Stana Katic, and it was with Castle, the TV show, and I lost against Grey's Anatomy.
I mean, that would be
which I was like, that show's been on for 20 years. They've already got their nomination.
It's amazing.
They've already got their awards.
But just that you are so incredible and gifted.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. It's been really fun. I just always connected to why I'm successful over maybe somebody else that's even more creative than I.
Yeah, I think that actually for so many high achieving women, particularly, no matter how much we've achieved, I'm a high achiever. And I walk around the world and kind of like have this attitude like, I mean, maybe I should do something in life. You know what I mean? Like you forget your achievements because we don't carry them around the same way. And so that just speaks again to, I think, our nature and our nurture, and what you were saying is like, the kind of person that you are to really love people so deeply and want to care for them and offer empowerment to them through the things that you love and are passionate about.
Right. Exactly.
And so it's not like an ego driven why, and so I think for those of us that come from a passion place in what we do versus having those things be ego drivers, which is, we know, like in the long run actually helps us achieve a lot more and feel more heart connected with ourselves.
Right. I mean,
better at night, all of that, right?
Yeah. I mean, it does. I've always asked myself, there has to be more. There has to be more that I have to do in this life before I'm gone, because life is such a blip in time that I really want to make the most impact that I possibly can. And I'm not doing brain surgery. I know that, but I do have to say that I know for a fact when someone connects with me, even just for a brief moment, or that's on my table, my clients, I'm giving them 110% of my love, my energy, my talent, my passion, my 23 years of education.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think so important as well to be able to find the things that do elevate you. And for you, that's the education, and that is the care and the quality of the work that you do. And, I love how you and I talked about this before, but that you've shared with me, when my clients come through my doors, I may be the only self-care that they have for the day. Absolutely. Or the moments to love themselves for that day. And we're both deeply passionate about wellness, about natural beauty, about taking that time to find the ways that help you reconnect to you. And so I just love this perspective that you bring, this full circle of really taking the time, even for your skincare, to be a big part of your self-care.
And I say, self-care is such a wide range word. Self-care can be in a variety of facets of things. But when you're on my table, not only are you getting that healing touch from me, you're getting that face sculpting and like the external instant gratification, which I can kind of prolong Botox if you want, or if I can work along Botox, whatever your journey is on that. It's the education at home, because you can't come see me every day. I wish people could, but, so it's at home, especially when you're like a mom or like a working businesswoman. You don't want to do sometimes like a 15-step routine. Even if you do, that's great. I've got it all for any, capacity people have, like time wise, but it's the whole method of like cleansing your face, taking care of your body. It's all part of wellness, right? And that's what I think that we've like really gotten away from. The most important is about preventative care and taking care of yourself wellness wise. You know how like when you start working out, you're like, oh my gosh, like you're dreading it, but you feel great afterwards. That's exactly like, there's all this stressors and, not sleeping well and all that, our immunity goes down, right? So things like facials or meditation or just cleansing your face and having 5 minutes to yourself to take care of yourself really amps up your immunity, whether you know it or not. Our body already automatically does that, especially at nighttime. There's a whole study. This is so fascinating to me. There's a whole study on sleep. There's light sleep that we do. There's the REM cycle sleep, and then there's the non-REM cycle sleep. So you have like literally three sectors of sleep that help so much with our like immunity soldiers coming up. And then, one, you have to like lower your heart rate, and that like lowers your cortisol level, and your cortisol level and your hormones are all like connected together.
Yeah. Our stress is what I notice the most is so important, especially as we age, to really help minimize so that we can care more deeply for our body, for our skin.
Absolutely.
That's where we start to see that. And so not to add more stress to other people, like when you say, well, stress causes, fine lines, wrinkles, and cortisol, but it does, but it's not cause for more stress, just to find these ways that you can
Oh, sure.
incorporate, areas to be able to minimize the stress. For me, I love ashwagandha nightly. Like I have that in a tea.
Yes.
It works
Yes.
wonders for my nervous system and my ability to really decompress, and also breath work,
Right.
gentle movement throughout the day. But so from a skincare perspective, for women of every age and preventative, early age 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, what are the best tips at those different ages for people to take away and think about for their skincare?
Yeah, sure. So like in your 20s or just even going in your teens, the simple, the better, not a lot of product. Because they're probably not going to do it anyways. You don't want a lot of stuff like stimulating their face because they're going through puberty. That's really important. But just the whole aspect of teaching your children how to take care of themselves, right? So that should be just a small stepping stone of what they do on an everyday basis. Oh, I have to wash my face. Oh, I have to brush my teeth. Like, you know what I mean? It's just part of the routine, and that should be part of it. So ingredient wise is so important. I have, tips and tricks and all that stuff. And I always go through people's like skincare routines right when they lay down on the table, because that gives me an idea of what they do already. And I don't care what you use. I might suggest something better with better ingredients for you, but I don't care what you use as long as you're doing stuff in the right steps. And that's the most important thing, right? So in your 20s, that's when you start really kind of noticing hormone shifts. Your hormones kind of shift every 5 years. So some people are struggling. They didn't struggle with acne in the teen years, but they struggle with it in their 20s. And that's what happened to me is I had horrible acne in my 20s. So then I definitely, being an esthetician and being a new esthetician, I tried everything on my face. I tried to use all these different products to dry up the acne. It took me a good 10 years, a whole decade to realize that's not really what you're supposed to do. There's that fine balance of hydration and, using salicylic acid to dry up the problem areas. But also, the key factor is it took me also a decade to realize everything stems from gut health.
Yes.
So your gut health has to be number one. And that comes from food, drinks that we drink, sugar, alcohol, all that stuff, dairy, gluten, but it's all in moderation. It's all about balance and what's right for your body, right? Because there's so many fads be gluten-free or yes, that's great if you want to do that, but not everybody is allergic to gluten, Right. You have to check in with your body and see what is working for you.
Especially if you're seeing the outer response that.
Right. Because what goes in will come out, right. And that's just I'm not talking just about food. I'm talking about everything. If you're not taking care of this beautiful body and this engine, it will show you that it's really upset or really neglected. Not enough water, drink water. It's the easiest thing.
Breathe, drink water, right?
Breathe and drink water. That's all I got to say. Okay, we're done.
Mic down.
Drop. Okay, that was it. No, but in your 20s, you just fluctuate so much. You just got to kind of, hang on for the ride sometimes, but check in with your gut health. And I will always stand by supplement care and supplement health. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a doctor, so I will never prescribe something, but I have, also I've lived a whole life of myself going through all these, valleys of gut care and acne and all that stuff. So I just share what has worked for me and what's worked for other clients. So I just have information on supplement care, which I really truly believe in. But I always go back to if you have a integrative medicine doctor, or just a family practice doctor, or somewhere that you could get your blood work done, that is the key. Even in your 20s, do it in your 20s, do it in your 30s, etc. Do in your 40s. Always keep up on blood work if you can, because they check also what you're deficient in. And so you're not taking a vitamin that you don't need, or, you don't want to overdose on some sort of supplement. So that's very important to say.
And it makes such a big impact on your skincare, as you age. For me early on, my mom, she got me a Clinique soap bar. We love her.
So your mom, I can talk about her friend.
I think the feeling is mutual there as well. She loves you so much. But so she got me, like when I was really young, a Clinique skincare bar to use for cleansing. And so she taught really young to, even preteen, go ahead and like make sure your skin is clear, like keep your nails clean, things like that. That as a kid, you don't know, like you do have to be taught and kind of set the discipline in place. It's really helpful. And so for me, as I grew and aged and things like that, I drank a lot of water. And so I think because of that, it really helped with my skin. And in aging, I went through periods of, this was really before the fad of it, but the raw food, vegan lifestyle and super clean. And I was doing that for digestive health because I was having a lot of digestive health issue. It came out in my skin, like meaning the cleanup I did on my body and my skin, it actually came out. And so I think that in and of itself has been really huge in helping my skin with, totally natural. I wish I could do Botox and things like that, but I'm too sensitive. Like I tend to have reactions to things. I'm a little nervous about anything like that that's not just topical.
A lot of people are actually. So that's great that you mentioned that. But I do a lot of holistic prevention, like Botox methods. So you don't have to worry. I mean, I'm going to tell you, we're in a place with holistic skincare, especially and makeup, clean makeup, that in the last 10 years, it's exploded. It's like $1 trillion industry at this point. It blows my mind how many clean ingredients and products and companies that have, not jumped on the bandwagon, but,
they're emerging.
Really, yes. And really has educated themselves that this is the future. Even like, I just saw the other day in Target, even Dove, for God's sake, like this huge, Johnson & Johnson company has like all clean ingredient deodorant. And I was like, well, I'm not necessarily going to buy that, but
we might not trust it entirely. But
but I am proud of you for just being like responsible, because that is, we all know. Don't even get me started on like the FDA. It hasn't been since like 1938 or something. So it's crazy. So it's really up to us as human beings to read ingredients and to know like what's like the bad ingredients, because all that stuff, you're putting it on your skin and under your arms, or brushing your teeth with it, or you're taking it internally or whatever. And this is like with food too. You have to be responsible and to know what you're doing and putting on your body, because the ingredients in the United States are not regulated. So that's why the clean holistic industry has exploded.
Yeah, there's actually so many studies about now the sicknesses and toxicity levels that have come from makeup and beauty, and those in makeup, like the RMS beauty line for everyone listening, that's a great line.
There's so many beautiful, like I said, companies that have stepped up to the plate and that I totally recommend and trust. I mean, there's just to name just a few, like Beauty Counter, RMS is great. Well People, Jane Ardell, you got Ilia, and then Westman Atelier. You got Kosas. I mean, there are so many. That's the fun part about my job too. Let me be like the researcher in that. You come in here, you bring your old makeup from whatever you bought it. Hopefully it's not that old, but the fun part is like, we'll throw that stuff out, or like, I'll help you, what I call like a clean switch. We'll see like what's working and what's not working, but I create like a beautiful new makeup list for you. And that's clean, and you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And that's fitted for your lifestyle, whether that's a 5-minute makeup or for an event or whatever. Everything's very tailored and customized, but with the right ingredients. So I think that's where RMS, the founder, got sick. Very sick from doing makeup for so many years as a more of a runway model makeup or print makeup artist. And so she founded RMS to step into that clean beauty. And now it really has exploded. But I love hearing those stories because when you do the research of the ingredients, there is so much toxicity to a lot of products that people don't realize. And so that's why having you as an asset, as you said, to come in and do the research and help
shed light in certain areas like, oh, well, this could be a better product and this is great.
Right.
Is so incredible. Circling back to our conversation, I think we've reached 20s. So now with women ages 30s,
yeah, go off topic.
50s, that's okay. We're circling back because us ladies in our 30s, 40s, 50s, we want to know the answers. We're not leaving it at 20s.
Like I'm like leaving you hanging. So 20s, yeah, like I said, it's just a lot of hormone shifts. Perhaps it's kind of like introducing the 20-year-olds to kind of doing a little bit more. So that might be like another cleanser or a toner or some good hydration serums. It's just kind of introducing more for your regimen at home. Remember, it's so important to start young with sunscreen as well. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah.
And I know we're, moms nowadays or parents nowadays hopefully are very probably too, back when I was young, that I would like burn myself just because I thought it was like cute. And now I have like, skin cancer cut out of my back. Like, I'm like, that's not cute. Nobody told me that was cute. Laying in tanning beds. I could tell you stories because I was in LA. Like that was just like what you did. It's like you got your first tan, which was like AK burn. Yeah. And then you would be tan all summer. Like it was just like, it's ridiculous to think, but what you don't know is what you don't know. We
didn't know. And now there's sunscreen options that are actually,
oh my gosh, I'm like
sunscreen, beautiful sunscreen options.
And beautiful, like either tinted or like in a stick. Like, I mean, I could go on and on for how like amazing sunscreen has just evolved, and you can even use it part of like your makeup routine, which is so cool. You could put it on top of makeup. Like there's just so many different things you can do with sunscreens. Yeah, so many options.
I love it.
But for ladies, so that's your 20s. Yeah, so your 30s. For 30s, in your early 30s, start really thinking about implementing like a vitamin C during the day. Vitamin C is amazing. It's the only vitamin, just so like scientific little tip, it's the only vitamin that we as human beings don't already produce. So we don't produce that at all. That's why you have to take it internally for like help. We all know about vitamin C with immunity, but it also, you have to take it topically. Like you have to put it on topically. And vitamin C helps brighten. It helps fade away. Like if you have acne scars or any kind of scarring, it helps with rosacea. It helps with, not so much texture, but just like the quality, like the brightness of the skin overall. If you're like feeling like dull or, some people just are like, there's just no like brightness or glowiness. Vitamin C is the way to go. So that would be during the day. And then you really want to get on the bandwagon of a retinol. And a retinol can, like, don't freak out. Like, you don't have to run to your dermatologist and get like a prescription retinol, because they're nowadays these awesome companies that I have a couple in here in the studio, or there's a million outside of the studio with gentle plant-based retinol, which is it's so effective. My favorite personally is Marie Veronique just came out with like a multi-infusion retinol, which has like moisture in it as well. So it's not drying, because some people get a little scared of retinol. It can be drying or it can make your skin, red, but trust me to say that I will prescribe you the right things and the right retinols. And if you have a question, then, we can talk about it over Zoom or whatever. But
I actually have a question for you about retinol too, is because I have found it is drying for my skin. I use very gentle retinol. I don't have the brand in front of me, but I will use it intuitively. Like I'll go through phases. Is that as effective? Would you feel like that works well if someone needs to kind of take a break or step back in? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's like a really great question. Let me say this first, and then I'll answer that question. Okay. Is vitamin C and retinol actually, when they are used together, like coincidentally, like you'll use vitamin C during the day and retinol at night, they're like become like this, like an anti-aging crime fighting duo. They're like best friends forever. So like scientifically, they work well together, and, separately they're fine too, but they become like this, unstoppable, like entity when you work together. So that's why I say in your 30s, in your early 30s, really try to use, both. I just want to make sure there's a lot of different retinols, gentle to strong. Obviously, start gentle and you can always work your way up. To answer your question, that's a really good question. There are little tricks that you can do because obviously, just like our hair, with shampoos, we get used to certain products and we kind of have to like switch things up, to have them work at the highest quality that they're intended for. With retinol, it's the same thing. So our skin, sometimes we kind of plateau and you're not seeing like as much results from it. That's when you can, especially during the summer months, I would suggest probably, if you're going to do it, probably in August, because, well, it depends on where you live. But I'm just going to say here in Nashville, Tennessee, it's like extremely hot in August.
Yeah.
I would take like a month break. And then like during like kind of like when that season changes towards the fall, it doesn't have to be cold or anything, but I would say like September, you can start that back up and your skin's like, oh, cool. Thanks for the new product. And you're like, haha, I tricked you. Like that's not a new product, So like you could, but it is important to say like if you were using like a really high prescription of retinol, I wouldn't just jump right back in September and be like, hi, I'm here again. I would start with a more gentle one and then work your way back up just like you did to a strong one.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And then what are your thoughts too on hyaluronic acid?
Yeah, that's, also a good question. I don't want to like kind of downplay any amazing serums because there's so many amazing serums. Hyaluronic acid is a very important. It holds 10,000 times its water weight. But I will tell you that it was a little bit of a fad, if you will. Mm-hmm. Like everyone's like, oh, you have hyaluronic acid. Awesome. I think everybody started putting it on their labels and everyone's like, yes, I have to have it. You can get moisture in different ways. You don't have to have hyaluronic acid in your routine at home. It's kind of case by case basis. But I will say on the other end, I'm a big fan of it. And I will say it's good for everybody. So like if you're using it, great. I mean, you don't have to stop using it. Like it's great. Like it's great for acne. It's great for rosacea. It's great, for dry skin, oily skin. Everybody can hold it because it's a molecule that is good for everybody.
Yeah, I love it. But I'm actually a fan of it and like in a singular, just hyaluronic acid, like not necessarily in a whole bunch of stuff. I just love to kind of put it on and then do serums. Just as like, oh, that feels nice. That's moisturizing kind of a feel.
Well, I will tell you serums with saying that was good that you said that hyaluronic acid can also be a great, like, if you think of like a vehicle, like a car, like the next thing that you could put on like an oil and there's amazing oils now out there, or just your regular moisturizer. That can be like that hyaluronic acid serum can be a great vehicle to like move that moisture way deeper down inside. Cause that's what we want. We don't want it to sit here. This is all dead skin cells, right? We want it to go deep down inside where all of our cells are like those juicy grapes, So when they come up to the surface, they'll still be juicy grapes. It's a great little vehicle for that.
Oh, good. I was just kind of intuitively like, oh, that feels good. I think I want to do it this way.
Great job.
And I meant to ask you about it. And so I'm glad that came up in the conversation because it feels really good to back that up with like a serum and then a cream or moisturizer. So I love anything moisture. I'm kind of obsessed with moisture.
I know. And what the fun part is as you can tell, I'm so passionate about ingredients and skincare. I'm like such a geek, but there's so many different options. So there's no reason in the world why you shouldn't have like a moisturizer for your skin, because everybody needs moisture, whether you're, like I said, suffering with acne, psoriasis, eczema, any kind of skin condition, or if you're just dry, or if you think that you're really oily and you're like, I don't need moisture. There is appropriate moisturizer out there for everybody with a clean ingredient. There's no reason why you shouldn't be using a moisturizer.
Right. And with clean ingredients, I love that you added that point in because it really is so important. I think that it just, to my mind, if you're not using cleaner or clean ingredients in your products, it's like you're actually aging yourself more with the toxicity that your body's going through.
Right, exactly. And the free radicals and all this. Yeah, exactly. Any kind of stressors that you are adding, because we don't need any more stressors in life, but any kind of like if you're not, what my motto is, even at home with my kids, are you helping or are you hurting? You're hurting. So don't hurt yourself. I mean that in like a relative term, not actually hurting yourself, but like, are you helping yourself or are you like hurting yourself by using these ingredients? So there's so much information now. Like everyone has done all the homework for you. So you don't have to like be like, Sara, what are you talking about? Like bad ingredients. There's so much online. You can even like Beauty Counter, actually, I think was like the forefront of this. One of my friends, Christy Coleman, she's huge on this, was making a no list, or like a do not use list, of ingredients. They have it on their website, or you can just find it like in general. Like
that's a great idea.
search.
So that way you can kind of have it handy and
I mean, it's very, very important.
When you're
or
looking
just
at products. Just give Sara a call. She's got you covered.
I'll be like, no, don't use that, or yay.
You are everybody's BFF. It's so sweet. You're totally. Like, I've got your back. Call me.
I will always have your back. Absolutely.
So, okay, moving into 40s. And this is a question, I'm in my 40s now too. I want to know, I feel like we get so concerned about what aging is going to look like. We don't think about the things of maybe nurturing our aging a little bit more. Like I'm not ready to do extreme measures in aging or things like that. As I said, like for me, Botox isn't really an option.
Like resonate, right?
It doesn't resonate. I wish it were. I've gone into, having lived in Beverly Hills, I went into offices with friends that were doing really incredible procedures and peels and more intense things that I'm like, wow, well, that's really amazing. But it's not something that felt like would be right for my body. I think my skin would be freaking out, to be honest, because it would be too invasive for my personal needs. So what does that look like if within 40s, as we are aging, we might notice fine lines, wrinkles. We might notice, the elasticity of our skin changing, our texture changing, like when we drink, we're going to see it soon, immediately. When we have too much coffee or lack of sleep, we're going to see it.
Right. Well, and I'll tell you one more bad thing that also you will see what you did or did not do in your 20s and your 30s, in your 40s. You'll be like, gosh darn it. Why didn't anybody tell me to use, retinol? Well, I'm telling you now. So if you're in your 20s or 30s, use it now. Use a sunscreen in your teens. There's so much stuff like preventative now, we know. So there's no reason why, you coulda, woulda, shoulda in your 40s, but your 40s, unfortunately, that's when you start seeing the little creepy fine lines, the more deeper set lines, the more Mariette and the eye lines. Gravity is not our best friend. So you'll start seeing everything kind of shift a little bit lower. Your eyes might be, it's like the weirdest thing, if you've split someone's face in half, we look totally different. That's very true, because I notice even in myself, your eyes kind of like shift too. So one, eyebrow is sometimes higher than the other. And you're like, how did that happen? So welcome to your 40s. That's exactly what, kind of creeping in. Some people, depending on genetics, start like that pre-menopause, like that perimenopause, which is a whole nother literally podcast that we can talk about that. But that's where kind of I'm sitting at that kind of perimenopause, which, brings other fun things that I'm going through. But your 40s, you really want to make sure you're really due diligent on your, like I said, your vitamin C in the morning and your retinols at night. You may at this point step up your retinol game, like in strength purposes. But the most thing I can say is you definitely want to exfoliate. So when I say that, again, you're like, what kind of exfoliation, Sara? Well, there's many different ways now that you can exfoliate. And especially coming in here, I have all gamuts. And you mentioned chemical peels. Yes, at the dermatologist, they have chemical peels that will, like you'll be peeling in sheets. I have chemical peels that it'll be like a light flaking, But after like a couple of days, you'll be totally fine and glowy. And that's exactly what you don't be afraid of chemical peels.
Right.
That's number one thing. You have to start exfoliating a little bit more deeply. And I'm not saying at this point, you probably shouldn't be using a scrub. It has to be some sort of like lactic acid, which nowadays I'm just looking up at my inventory. I have this beautiful lactic acid and mandelic acid, like a peel pad. And again, everything has like a peel in the word. Don't be afraid of that. You're not going to peel.
And I should have been clear about that too, that when with the procedures I was seeing happening on Friends in, the Beverly Hills surgeon's offices,
absolutely.
These were, the very high level, very
high
intense
level extreme
peels.
Yes.
So I personally, I love a good acid peel at home. Even
perfect.
There's so many different take home options now, or like in your office, there's so many different options. So I should have been more specific with that wording too.
I actually love that you said that, just so we could, like say,
kind of go,
there's so many
extreme.
different way to like that resurfacing kind of word is so great, because that's all you want to do. There's so many ways to exfoliate. So I have cleansers with lactic acid as well. Obviously, everything is very like mild, right? But over time, you're doing such a great job to your face, because as we age and mature, we slow way, way down, like 50% by the time we're 50, even probably 45. We don't exfoliate. Our new skin cells are 60 days out. And then in our 20s and 30s, they were just 30 days out. So they were like, quick. Now we're like losing moisture. I think we lose about 35% by like 42. And collagen, forget about it. Like we're like almost gone. So like, and I'm not trying to be like, dramatic. I'm just saying that we need things to hydrate, lots of hydration, lots of good exfoliation that's hydrating. Believe it or not, lactic acid, just going back to that, is actually a hydrating kind of acid. So
how
that's
interesting.
Great for,
so it's hydrating.
I know. It's kind of like an oxymoron, right? Yeah. So there's different ways to do that. So it's always a good thing to implement into your regimen at home, or coming to me. We can do a series of glycolic peels or lactic peels, or we have so many different type of peels to help brighten and whatever your needs are, help like with acne, post-acne scars that you had in your 20s. Pigmentation is huge, especially coming from LA and not using sunscreen. Again, we're seeing all the stuff that we didn't do in our 20s and our 30s come in our 40s. So 40s are all about, oh my goodness, Sara, tell me what I can do to really start like turning back time. And I will tell you, it's not even just about products. That's when you really want to start investing in doing gua sha, which is an amazing tool. It's something that, we have 43 muscles in our face that we don't really use a lot. Sometimes, we smile and frown and all that, but that makes our lines, right? But to really work out and lift these muscles, that gravity is taking place.
It's incredible. I mean, the results that you can see. I mean, I know even the gua sha that I do at home, and then I'll do, you can do your own energy at night, energy healing.
Right.
I do Reiki massages and Reiki facials on my skin. So you can go have Reiki done or do it on yourself and just use your own energy. But like those little things that you can take away in your day-to-day practice are not only self-care and wellness care, but you're going to see the physical results too. I'm so blown away by the results of gua sha and what you see.
And it's become like a popular word, and I know that, but it's been around for literally like 2,000 years.
Yeah.
But it's the point of, gua sha is like, if you think about it, not only is it like lifting and sculpting those muscles that we don't get to use, it's almost like a workout for your face, but it really is helping. If you want to get, a little bit, nerdy with science again, is that it's really helping. It's not lymphatic drainage, but it's helping lymphatic drainage. And lymphatic drainage is, all your lymph nodes or your neck and your armpits. I mean, you have lymph nodes all over, but that's like our cleaning system. It's like amazing what our lymph does already for ourselves. But sometimes if you look at your skin, if you've been sick or, like again, stressed or whatever, it holds. And some people are just genetically disposed to this, but you see like that puffiness, you're like, I'm puffy, or I feel like I have like a lot of like fluid right here. And it's usually about right here. Or you can feel it like
right
in
at the
your
jawline or in the cheeks.
about the jawline, because this is where your ramp is to like when it exits, it comes all the way down and
right at the back of your for everybody listening, it's like right at the back of your ear. And kind of drawing down, because they may not see you on video. You're drawing down your neck. So there's a lot of great videos on even Google.
On
there's different books and things like that about
and there's different
drainage
tools
and tools and gua sha.
When a client comes in and even your cleansing, I love to always start with an oil cleanser. Oil attracts oil and then it takes off, all the dirt and debris, but also hydrates as well. So it's like a 2-for-1 thing, and it helps exfoliate as you're doing it. But with oil, and don't get scared, because like I said, if you're oily, oil attracts oil. So it's going to help balance that. So everybody can use an oil cleanser. But when you're cleansing, take like 30 seconds or a minute, to like really just like, massage your face around and really just kind of like on those off ramps of your neck, go down on your neck, and you can even go up on your neck. The feeling that you get with just your fingertips, you could do so much goodness just in the cleansing process. People miss that step. They like cleanse their face really fast and then it's like done. Like, let that be like your time of like taking deep breaths. And, it's literally like 30 seconds of your life. You just do that in, I guarantee you'll see vast improvements, not only like obviously internally, but you'll see vast improvements on your skin and the elasticity and the muscle tone just by doing that like every day. With gua sha, it's a little bit more of time consuming. So you dedicate maybe like a Sunday or something or whatever, like when the kids go to bed, if you have 5 minutes to even just like gua sha, that's even going to help. But whatever's right for your, lifestyle. I know that not everybody has that luxury of time sometimes, but gua sha really helps with that. Did you know there's another fun fact that we empty a can of, I don't like to say soda because I don't like soda, but LaCroix. I love LaCroix. Like a can of LaCroix on your right side of lymph fluid. And you're like, wow, that's a lot. And your body automatically does that. You'll never know that. It just does it for us, which is miraculous.
What is
on
the time
left
frame?
Side?
So we do it within what?
Every day.
Each day
for
we're
24 hours. Right.
Wow.
On the left side, it's a gallon of fluid. A gallon.
Wow.
So don't ask, maybe I should probably, before I said that, probably research of like why it's different. But I in my heart, I feel like when I see clients, there's always more like tension and puffiness on the left side, just because I think there's just more lymphatic fluid on that side. Maybe because it's closer to the heart. I'm not really sure, but I just thought that was so fascinating because we don't even know what our bodies are doing. It just does it for us. There are some things like if you have thyroid issues or if you've had cancer of like the lymph and all that stuff, that's even more important too. If your doctor says it's okay, it's even more important to like, make sure you're massaging that out.
Yeah, to take care. And then, for anybody that is immunocompromised or have gone through different treatments, there's other areas of lymph nodes. So depending on where that is, you can talk to your doctor about pulling that out of other lymph areas. Yeah. It's really incredible. So, okay. So definitely in our 40s, we're doing.
Well, I was just going to say too, just one more thing. I'm so sorry. I have so much to talk about, but just even with here, we have so many, my whole like mission in life and purpose is to bring Western practices like with your like more machinery type things to like an Eastern, type method. So that's my goal, is like a fusion of the two. I do have other great things. I have a Pro Cell, which is like a micro needling type thing. So that's really awesome. And then also like we can do, microdermabrasion or whatever to help you exfoliate. So I just wanted to like hone that in. Exfoliation is the key to the 40s, like stepping up your exfoliation.
And what are your thoughts on do an at-home roller? Like I think
like a derma roller.
It's a derma roller and it's 0.1. I believe is the needle. I see such a difference in my skin at the age that I am. I'm 43 this year. And so I see such a difference, like the plumpness.
I have derma rollers here too. It's just another tool, a fantastic tool to allow your serums and your oils and your moisturizers to go in deeper. That is like if I could say anything, is that we want to be the most effective with the best ingredients. That's right for you. Like, work smarter, not harder. That's like the whole key in life, right? So that's what I'm saying. So every age kind of group, or every person has their specific needs and concerns. And that's what I make sure to ask everybody. What is your concern? What are you, going through? But so many things play a part in individual lives, like medicines and lifestyle and stuff. So you got to just look at yourself. If you can't come to me, just kind of take a moment and see what your concerns and your goals are. And then maybe see like what your stressors and what you're, taking care of your body, what you're eating and all that. And then implement that slowly. You don't have to go from 0 to 10. That's not attainable and sustainable, right? That's also two key words. What's attainable and what's sustainable in life. Because remember, like, we know off of diets and all that, if it doesn't work into your lifestyle, then you won't do it.
It's not gonna work for you, right?
Yeah. So, or a workout or whatever. So it's all customized and tailored to your needs. So that's it. So a lot of exfoliation in your 40s, definitely. In your 50s, it's really at that point the same kind of thing. It's like in your 50s, you're basically, most of my clients are going through menopause or have gone through menopause. So at that point, it's just about like more intensive moisture. So like maybe moisture masks at night, or we do like CO2 masks here, or, LED light is amazing for anyone, by the way. You can get one of those LED lights and put it on red and lay there for 10 minutes. And I mean, you can do so much at home now, which is another thing we didn't even touch on, but there are so much at home modalities you can do, like microcurrent machines now, or like the microdermabrasion, the derma roller. I have
a microcurrent and LED light too. It's like you're just
all of that is just,
I feel like I'm on a vacation or something, like in the sun. And I know that sounds so silly, but you're just taking this moment to say, oh, I'm taking in the rays.
Right. And they have proven scientific backing on, if we can't get vitamin D, especially in states and countries that that snow a lot, or, that are very cold and don't get sunshine like at all during the winter months. It is so important for like your health, your mental health, your skin, to get like one of those LED lights. There's like a lot of them out there, but, get a quality one. But like infrared saunas, I mean, obviously you don't have to buy one of those for your house. That'd be amazing too. But, go to an infrared sauna. Like, all of that is just good for your health. Like, everybody talks about
even higher, like the higher dose blankets, the infrared blankets that you can get in.
Oh my gosh.
Those are so good too. For everybody listening, there's another option. There's so many tools now. It is incredible.
So many tools. And I know it can be overwhelming, but just know that like, even if you pick one of those things, you're doing good for your body, but, just even without modalities and skincare and all that, just go back to the basics and just say, what makes me feel good? Like, even food, like after I eat, does this make me feel good? Like, if it doesn't make you feel good, then don't do it. Don't eat it.
Right.
It's unbelievable what our bodies like it tells us, but we keep doing it. So exactly. I have to check in all the time with myself. I'm like, why did I just eat that? Or why did I, do that? Move your body. You have to move your body to get that heart pumping every day, to get that circulatory system going, to flush out your lymphatic drainage already, just, without the wash it thing. Like, it already does that. And it feeds your cells. It feeds your cells with oxygen. We just need like good oxygen, deep breaths. Even I have to say, I even have noticed it with my 6-year-old daughter. She goes to school and she has a little bit, all these children have like severe anxiety from PTSD from COVID.
Yeah,
it's quite sad. But she has this breathing ball where it goes out and then it goes in. It's amazing. It's super simple, but it makes such a difference. Like when she goes, oh, I got to do my ball. And she goes,
big inhale, exhale with
it's amazing what you can do. And even my little 2-year-old son, he goes, oh, I'm breathing. And I'm like, oh yeah, deep breath, deep breath. So like he's even learning the tools of just, taking 2 seconds to breathe.
We really are complicated plants,
Totally.
Need
Totally.
breath. We need water.
We need water and breath and oxygen. No, it's amazing. And just going back to self-care and wellness, and I just want to reiterate that you need to feed your soul, and you need to feed your heart and your mental capacity and all of that. And it can be so small, even taking a magnesium bath with a little bit of lavender oil or, whatever floats your boat. It doesn't even matter. You just need to give yourself time. And if you don't have it, then literally just take 30 seconds and sit there and maybe think good thoughts or something positive, positivity,
I know you and I have talked a lot as well about becoming your own advocate and learning to lean into your intuition. And that really does translate, even going back to beauty, even going back to the way that we love and care for ourselves. And I think in any way possible, a lot of times we think, oh, we need to have the time in order to incorporate this whole wellness practice. But I love that you said that. It really is even in the thoughts that we think of ourselves or the way that we're thinking in our day. And those are things that you can shift in action. It's just a practice of becoming aware. It's a practice of becoming the advocate for yourself. And that goes inward and it extends outward too with the conversations that you have with others. So I love that you always highlight that point in your messaging as well.
Well, it's like your podcast, they chaos and calm. You need calm, and stillness comes in within calm. I'm a bit advocate on meditation, but even if you don't have that practice or if you don't have the time, it's literally just the stillness will help your nervous system, and that will, it will portray your body to trigger good wellness,
I think in going back to, I know you and I have had this conversation, and we've had it with Mom too, who's hitting 70s this year. She's 70, she's going into 71, but she has been such an advocate for challenging the norms of what beauty and longevity and wellness naturally look like, and not necessarily for trying to look or be a certain way, but just saying, I don't accept these norms of this is what aging is and what it has to look like. And so in the chaos of things, we can find the challenge. If we look at our aging and at the way that things become challenging as we age, it's really an opportunity for us to find new ways to understand our bodies. Like maybe it's the challenge of learning what we maybe could and should have been doing in our 20s, that was just handed over and easy to us, right? Like for a lot of people, it's just easy. You don't really have to do anything for the way you look and feel in your 20s. Other people don't have that story. I know I had to work really hard for my health and wellness, overcoming some health issues in my 20s. And that sets you up for understanding challenges in a different way. So if we can look at the way that we're aging instead of just succumbing to it and feeling victimized by it as, oh, this is suffering, this is it's aging.
It's never going to stop. Time doesn't stop, So you have to be your own advocate of what makes you feel good inside, and that'll, mentally make you feel good. And I tell you what, happy people are pretty people, I mean, true. You know what I'm saying? It shows. People come in here and say, they're 40s, 50s, 60s. Oh, I don't even want to tell you, about what I use at home. It's okay. Tell me. And then let me educate you, and then I'm so glad you're here. This is your first step, it's just, I don't know. It's just so, so, so important. It's never too late.
Well, I think that point too is when we are reaching our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, what we are seeing that we're wearing on our face is maybe some of our undealt with emotions, some of our undealt with stories, that's again where the challenges come back into, that this is
Yes.
another place for our beauty, our wellness, our skincare, our self-care. That is emotional healing, actually lightens our loads. And that's a huge beauty and skincare practice. It's actually
100%.
taking care of yourself on those levels as well. That
100%.
lightens the way that we look. It helps our products work more effectively, I feel like, too.
That's right. That's
And
right.
so it's again, like, we step into these ages where we're told in society, like, oh, push these ages aside because they don't count for much. And everyone showing up now is breaking that mold of saying,
Absolutely.
no, we're, not only are we breaking that mold, we're stepping up and we're doing more incredible things. We are living our life more fully. We're healing
That's right.
our emotional wounds and traumas and owning our empowerment as women and wise women, as we grow. And
I
as we
tell you,
age.
it's very powerful to see. It's the community of women, the intelligence, the savviness, the community and the humanity. I'm telling you, 2023, this is our year to come back to that. And it will all help us to be more healthy and happy,
Yeah, absolutely. I love that so much. And I'm so glad that you're here too. And so
Thank
just
you.
to kind of share with everybody, they can find you at Little Indigo. I'm going to have everything in the show notes of all the amazing ways to connect
great.
with Sara. And then
Yeah.
you also do virtual consultations for anyone not in the Nashville area. And but you are here local in Music Row area for everyone in the city. So
located on the famous Music Row. My company's called Little Indigo, and you can go on our website at www.thelittleindigo.com. And if you have any questions, there's also an email tab or contact me tab, and you can ask any questions to me directly through that.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful little spot too. Like coming in is so warm and welcoming. But so before we head off, and thank you so much for this incredible, wise conversation. But I do want to ask you one last thing, and that is, what are your favorite rituals, like around beauty and things like that?
Wow. Yeah.
What's your favorite rituals?
So I'm going to tell you the biggest thing for me is, my word this year is intention, because I got to practice what I preach, right? I have a 2-year-old and a newly 6-year-old. My life is very chaotic, but I try to find that just 2 minutes of calm for myself. So my favorite rituals is literally when I cleanse my face, I take deep breaths, just like I told you, like whatever I do at home, I share with everybody, because I think, whatever works for me might work for somebody else too. But when I'm cleansing my face, I take a deep breath and I make sure to feel my face, and I make sure to really try to just like lift up some muscles, kind of come in contact with some muscles on my skin, on my face, to like lift them up, because like I said, gravity is taking place in my 40s now. So that to me is a comfort thing. I love having a routine. So that kind of routine, if I don't have a child around me asking for a snack, that is my place. My skincare routine is my place of like solitude. I try to get into the bath, every other night, or I try to, and I use whole magnesium flake, like salt flakes,
so
not
good.
just the salt, but like the flakes. And it just, the magnesium just kind of pulls out like some toxins in my body, and, it just helps like muscles and all that good stuff too. But that is important to just, and believe it or not, a little fun tip is taking a bath. If you have a bath, the water on your skin emulates somebody's pressure of lymphatic pressure. It's so amazing to think about. So like the little like ripples in your bath are actually doing an amazing thing for your lymphatic system. And you don't even know, you're just like, oh, I'm just taking a bath. But the ritual of that water touching your skin is actually helping like your whole body. So just remember that if you have a bathtub. And then that's it. So, I try to drink lots of water. I just try my hardest to never settle on the bad stuff. There's always bad stuff coming, your way. That's just what life is. It's peaks and valleys of goodness. I try to find the joy in the chaos, the calm in the chaos.
I love that. What a beautiful way to wrap up this conversation of life and living and empowerment through caring for yourself, caring for others, and really rising through any challenges, including the challenge of finding new ways to feel beautiful as we age gracefully.
Yep.
So that's
always pivot. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We love you, and always so good to get to be in space with you, and always feel so pretty after we see each other too.
Good. Shine from within. We got this.
Thank you, sweet Sara.
You're welcome.